Welcome to the next video of Section 3, Death and Particles. In the previous video we've learned about health. In this video we'll learn more about death and particles. In this twin-stick shooter game, both the player and enemies are spaceships. When they're destroyed, they should explode in a fiery ball. This is really the only kind of effect that would be believable. To achieve explosions we can use a particle system. This simply refers to a special kind of object that features two main parts, namely a hose, or emitter, and particles. The emitter refers to the part that spawns or generates new particles into the world, and the particles are many small objects or pieces that, once spawned, move and travel along their own trajectories. In short, particle systems are ideal to create rain, snow, fog, sparkles, and explosions. We can create our own particle systems from scratch using the menu option, Game Object, Particle System, or we can use any pre-made particle system included with Unity. Let's use some of the pre-made particle systems. To do this, import the Particle Systems package to the project by navigating to Assets, Import Package, Particle Systems, from the Application menu. After the import dialog appears, leave all settings at their defaults and simply click on Import to import the complete package, including all particle systems. The particle systems will be added to the project panel in the Standard Assets Particle Systems Prefabs folder. You can test each of the particle systems by simply dragging and dropping each prefab to the scene. Note that you can only preview a particle system in the scene viewport while it's selected. Note that an explosion system is included among the default assets, which is great news. To test, we can just drag and drop the explosion to the scene, press play on the toolbar, and see the explosion in action. Good! We're almost done, but there's still a bit more work. We've now seen that an appropriate particle system is available, and we could just drag and drop this system to the Death Particles prehab slot in the Health component in the inspector. This will work technically. When a player or enemy dies, the explosion system will be spawned, creating an explosion effect. However, the particle system will never be destroyed. This is problematic because on each enemy death a new particle system will be spawned. This raises the possibility that after many deaths the scene will be full of disused particle systems. We don't want this. It's bad for performance and memory usage to have a scene full of unused objects lingering around. To fix this, we'll modify the explosion system slightly, creating a new and modified prefab that suits our needs. To create this, drag and drop the existing explosion system anywhere to the scene and position it at the world's origin. Next, we must refine the particle system to destroy itself soon after instantiation. By making a prefab from this arrangement, each and every generated explosion will eventually destroy itself. To make an object destroy itself after a specified interval, we'll create a new C# script. I'll name this script timedestroy.cs. Now you can refer to this code. The timedestroy class simply destroys the object to which is attached after a specified interval. Destroy time has elapsed. The invoke function is called in the start event. Invoke will execute a function of the specified name once and only once after a specified interval has elapsed. The interval is measured in seconds. Like sendMessage, the invoke function relies on reflection. For this reason, it should be used sparingly for best performance. The die function will be executed by invoke after a specified interval to destroy the game object, such as a particle system. Now, drag and drop the timedestroy script to the explosion particle system in the scene, and then press play on the toolbar to test the code works. And the object is destroyed after the specified interval, which can be adjusted from the inspector. The timedestroy script should remove the explosion particle system after the delay expires. So let's create a new and separate prefab from this modified version. To do this, rename the explosion system in the hierarchy panel to Explosion Destroy, and then drag and drop the system from the hierarchy to the project panel in the prefabs folder. Unity automatically creates a new prefab representing the modified particle system. Now drag and drop the newly created prefab from the project panel to the Death Particle System slot on the Health component for the player in the Object Inspector. This ensures that the prefab is instantiated when the player dies. If you run the game now, you'll see that you cannot initiate a player death event to test the particle system generation. Nothing exists in the scene to destroy or damage the player, and you cannot manually set the health points to 0 from the inspector in a way that is detected by the C# property set function. For now, however, we can insert some test death functionality into the health script that triggers an instant kill when the spacebar is pressed. Refer the preceding code for the modified health script. On running the game now with the modified health script, you can trigger an instant death by pressing the spacebar key on the keyboard. When you do this, the player object is destroyed and the particle system is generated until the timer destroys that too. Excellent work. We now have a playable, controllable player character that supports health and death functionality. Things are looking good. In the next video, we'll learn about enemies.